Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I want to talk about suspicious sponsorships. This is more or less a video, I guess, more addressed towards other creators, but also as the audience of your favorite creators here on YouTube, it's important that you know that this kind of issue is going on, at least it's starting to go on. I don't know how many creators in particular would be affected by something like this, but I know that recently I definitely have been affected, and that's really why I want to talk about it today because, well, this is something that not only could pose a pretty major security risk for a lot of YouTube channels if my suspicions are correct, but at the same time these companies are very shady. They're offering money to creators, and it's important that you know that not only are they shady, but at the same time. So recently I put out a tweet kind of asking other creators that follow me on Twitter whether or not they've noticed this happen, and it seems like this has been an issue before, and I mean I know that this has been kind of an issue, but I have never seen it go to this degree. I have gotten more shady sponsorship offers in the last like 2 to 3 weeks than I probably have ever gotten in my channel's history, and you have to keep in mind, I have gotten hundreds, if not thousands, of sponsorship offers over the years for my channel. Usually, of course, when you read through the email and you do a little bit of background research into the company and everything to kind of see what's going on, you can pretty much figure out the details of who's emailing you, why they're emailing you, what their business does, where they're located, like an address or a city or something like that. They'll give you contact information, things like this, because that's the right way to run your business, right? You know, when you're wanting to build a reputable brand, you want to have these things out there. That way people can make a better judgment about your product, right? But in the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks, like I said, I've probably gotten 40 to 50% of all of these sponsorship emails that I've gotten be completely shady or be from companies exclusively from either China or Russia. And it's very suspicious to me because I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years now, right? And I've been monetized on YouTube for about 5 of those years and have done sponsorships for about 4 of those years, and never in my time of making YouTube videos have I ever had so many of these kind of emails. Now, I'm not going to air out any of these emails because for all I know, these could be complete scams, right? This could be an actual security issue because these emails are very shady, and let me tell you why. So here's what you're looking for in these emails if you're a creator. So obviously, like I said, when you get a normal sponsorship offer, the people introduce themselves, you can pretty much look at the email, get all the details you need about the company, you can do background research. I do this every time I get a sponsorship offer. I check the email to make sure it's coming from a legitimate domain. I go to that domain, see what their company's about. I go and look at product reviews on YouTube if they have any of those kind of things. There's an extensive background process that I go through when it comes to sponsorships on my channel because I don't want to just be selling literally anything and everything to people. If I'm going to give my word on a product, or like I'm going to basically be selling my audience something through my content, I want it to be something that I truly believe in or think is a good product. But these emails that I've been getting are written in Russian or Chinese. You have to translate the email, so that's already a red flag because you never really have to do that with any reputable company because they'll either have somebody who speaks English on hand, or oftentimes the companies, at least in my experience, are headquartered in the United States or in a Western country in general where English is a lot more prevalent. Then when you look up the websites that they link, they're very suspicious as well. Now, of course, it's important that you don't click the links that are involved in this whole thing. Do not click any of the links in these suspicious emails because it's a fucking security risk. What you're going to want to do is like copy and paste very carefully, or like go ahead and type it out yourself. And every time that happens, I notice that it's basically like a default landing page. It's not a real product, or if it is, these people put literally no effort into their website at all. I mean, you can get a basic website editor like Squarespace and do more than what these companies are doing. Or I should say these quote unquote companies, because God forbid, we don't even fucking know if they're real at this point, man. So they also, one big thing that I've noticed, will initially they'll offer like a really ridiculous amount of money, right? Like they'll offer, you know, 2 to 3 times what your asking rate probably would be, which is also very weird. In all of my experience with sponsorships and whatnot, you actually negotiate with the company directly. They'll oftentimes make you make the first offer because, well, that's just good business, because then they can kind of hone you in on their price point or whatever, right? You know, you say, hey, I want 5,000, and they say we got 2,000 in budget. They're going to try and cut you down, right? So it's very suspicious when a company offers you up front like a ludicrous amount of money, right? Like this is just damn good money to promote this product. Now, one example I want to give was apparently a Russian mobile game. It was registered under a completely different domain. The company name was not registered under this domain at all. Like, for instance, you know, the guy who emailed me, he was a representative from the company, I don't know, Sniper Bob, right? Then when you go and look at their domain, it's basically like www.awesomegamers.com Optimus.net, right? Just basically some bullshit, right? It's not a legitimate product at all. Like, you can tell right off the jump in situations like that, not a legitimate product. Companies don't do this, at least reputable ones that you actually want to promote. And then when you go to their page, it's basically just screenshots of like a mobile game that clearly isn't any good. Like, if it's even a real game at all, for all I know, they could be going to fucking Fiverr or something and just having someone make a mock-up and trying to scam people through it, right? Now, this is a major security issue, and this has actually happened like multiple times here on YouTube before with creators. So basically what has happened in the past is these scammers and people trying to hack your channel and get, you know, your information and whatnot, what they'll do is they'll send you a bullshit sponsorship email, okay? And they'll overpromise all kinds of things. They'll do whatever they can to get you hook, line, and sinker, right? They're trying to trick you by any means necessary, right? And this has been a problem before. You know, there's been waves of this that have happened in the past, and people have fallen for it, and their channels get hacked and whatnot, and then they're basically left there wondering what the hell happened. This is something you have to be really careful about, and I feel like if this is happening to me and I'm getting like a massive wave of these shady emails and stuff, that you probably are also going to be getting them too if you're a creator who at least has some sort of sizable audience. Now, another reason that this is very suspicious is because I don't really work with companies from these regions, you know? Like for China, for example, right? I don't really work with Chinese companies because oftentimes they put very ridiculous restrictions on you. And plus, if you know anything about what has been going on in China over the last few years with like the Muslim genocides and shit like that, it's not really something that I'm consciously okay with like working with for the most part. Now, I understand that obviously, you know, when you're working on YouTube, you're basically working for Google, which in turn, you know, supports China and whatnot, but I'm not going to go out of my way to work with companies from China or from Russia because it just feels grimy to do, especially like with Russia right now with the whole situation going on. Like, the whole world is fucking boycotting this country economically, which is even more suspicious on why these companies are coming forward all of a sudden out of the fucking woodworks in Russia to try and do these sponsorships. As far as I know, the financial systems connected to the outside world, especially to the United States between Russia, is completely destroyed. Payment providers, from what I know, have just basically stopped working in Russia, so that's another big red flag. How are these companies going to pay you? How is the money going to come through? They're not offering the money in Bitcoin or anything like that, might I add. It's not like they're like, hey, we'll give you crypto for doing this. They're talking about US dollars, which from my understanding, in Russia right now, you cannot convert rubles to US dollars and even use US dollars in the first place. So it's very suspicious that all of a sudden, after Russia invades Ukraine, the whole world basically economically boycotts them, that all these companies are suddenly showing up with just buku amounts of money to fucking throw at people on YouTube, right? It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. So yes, my personal hypothesis on this one is this is a wave of cyber attacks, basically, where people are trying to steal YouTubers' login information and credentials, which is why it's important too that you watch out for other types of emails, such as fake emails that look like they'd come from YouTube, phishing scams, things like this. I mean, these become, I think, more prevalent and common when these kinds of situations unfold. I've seen these things happen to myself. It's really not a rabbit hole that you want to dive into. I just want people to be aware of what's going on and be cautious because, like I said, if this is happening to me at the scale that it's happening, I mean, to the point where I'm getting literally dozens of emails like this, just literal garbage trying to scam me, I have a feeling that other creators are also either going to be getting these same type of emails very soon, or they're already getting them. And I know, obviously, there's a lot of creators out there who, they want money, right? Like, they're trying to make money off their channels, they're trying to monetize, they're trying to get a quick sponsorship because that's some money for them, right? You gotta pick and choose and be careful what you select. When it comes down to things like this, man, you just gotta pay attention. Definitely look very carefully into who is trying to, you know, financially support your channel through sponsorships. Investigate these companies, see where they're from, find out how they've treated other creators if that's possible. You know, if you've gotten a sponsorship offer from a company and you, I don't know a buddy or something that's worked with them, go ask them about it, man. There's nothing stopping you from doing that, and it's just going to be better for you altogether. I mean, there's obviously legitimate sponsorships out there. I mean, literally 15 minutes before I recorded this video, I got a package in the mail from a potential sponsor. This is how you know shit's legit. If they're willing to send you products to review before you do a sponsorship, that's how you know it's a legitimate company you really want to work with. Companies that want to do sponsorships and they refuse to even offer you samples oftentimes are not companies that you want to represent, and in a lot of instances, they can even be security threats like this. I would just watch out for it, man. So with that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out OptiWorld down below as well. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about what I see as a new cybersecurity threat to YouTubers, and signing out.